Howdy y'all, my name is Allison and today I'll be guiding you through a yoga flow to bring in some new energy and nourishment into the body, allowing us to open and become more mobile together right here. So find yourself in a comfortable seat. You can sit on your knees as I'm doing here. Sometimes it's helpful to have a little bit of like a pillow under your hips just before we start grounding ourselves. Maybe you sit in a crisscross position. And I invite you to either lower your gaze or shut down the eyes. Taking a moment to settle in, come into this moment here. Bringing your awareness to the natural cadence of your breath. Just noticing how your body is breathing you in this moment. Feeling into the grounding support of your hip bones rooted in the earth. Feeling maybe your shins, your ankles all supported. And from this place of feeling supported and rooted, we might find more space in our spine, lengthening our top of our head, our crown towards the sky a little bit longer, sitting up tall. Maybe we bring our shoulders up towards our ears on an inhale. And we drop them down our back on an exhale. Bringing our shoulders up again on inhale. Exhaling them down and back. Finding stillness just for a few breaths here. You can start to lengthen the breath, breathing into the belly. You lengthen your inhalation and your exhalation for just one more beat. Inviting our conscious awareness into our bodies through our intentional breath. We'll reach our arms up high in the sky. Bring our hands to our heart center. Checking in once more with ourselves before we move into our more active practice. If we so choose, we may choose to set an intention for our practice or for the rest of our day or evening. Maybe the intention is to just take a moment and pause and breathe when you remember. Here, we'll gently open our eyes if they were closed. We'll bring our hands out to the side, and we'll just reach our left hand over our head and have a nice side bend opening. Right hand is rooted in the ground, keeping length in the spine as we open through the side intercostal muscles and breathing into this space here. Moving and opening our body so we can have a deeper breath capacity, giving us more energy and more clarity of mind. More resiliency. Gaze can be straight ahead, gaze can be up, wherever feels healthy in your neck. One more really deep breath here. And then we'll return our arms down, take a deep breath here. Plant our other hand on the ground, reaching right hand over top. Inviting more space in the intercostal rib side muscles here. Having both sit bones still rooted in the ground. No need to force yourself to push any further. Just finding a place that feels like a good opening in your body. Slowly on an inhale, return back to an upright seat. And we'll take a gentle twist, bringing our left hand to our right thigh, reaching our right arm behind us, gently twisting through the spine. Maybe you look over your back shoulder. Again, breathing into this position. Maybe you track the sensation of your breath, feeling different as we twist and wring out our spine, detoxifying from the inside out. And then we'll simply come to the other side, bringing right hand to the outside of left thigh, left hand plants on the back of the ground behind us, keeping a tall spine as we twist. Coming back to center, just taking some really gentle neck rolls. If you have a more so sensitive neck, just keeping your, maybe skipping the back portion of the neck roll. So keeping your ear to your shoulder, drawing your chin to your chest, drawing your right ear to your right shoulder. If you're feeling open, you'd go all the way around. And if not, you're kind of want to be more on the gentle side. That's great. Just keeping your right ear and just rolling back and forth in the front plane with neck circles, opening up through the cervical spine. Going at whatever pace feels right for you. Maybe it's slow, maybe you want to speed up a little, just being really gentle. And then yet again, we'll keep our hands on our knees and just bringing our shoulders around in circles, bringing some new fluid to our shoulder joints, going backwards in circles, and then we'll switch the direction, bringing our shoulders forward. Continuing awareness of our breath here. Deep inhalation, exhalation. All right, if we had something under our hips, we'll move it out to the side. And we'll come into a tabletop position on our mat. Our wrists placed under our shoulders, knees generally placed under the hips. We'll come into our cat-cow. So we inhale as we drop the belly, gaze looks forward or up. Exhale as we push into the palms, round to the upper, the lower back, tucking the tail. Moving with our breath, we inhale as we drop the belly. Exhaling as we push the ground away, creating an arch, rainbow-like shape with the back. Inhaling again. Cow pose. Exhaling, maybe you begin to move with your own breath and movement. And we'll start to just take some gentle circles of our hips, going forward and back. Switching the direction, getting into what your body feels like it needs right now. Maybe they're little circles, maybe they're bigger circles, maybe you're just sticking with the cat and the cow. And we'll push back onto our knees and we'll take just a gentle wrist stretch. So if it feels comfortable for your wrists, you'll turn your fingers towards you and you'll gently press them on the ground. Fingertips pointing back towards your feet. Elbows can be bent here. Can also be up on your knees to be able to lessen the stretch a little bit. So just finding where it feels okay for your wrists. And knowing if that's too much, we can also just reach one hand in front of us and gently open the wrist like this. Pulling the fingers down to the ground. We'll switch sides, palm turns up, bringing our fingertips down towards the ground. This assisting hand just gently pulls your fingertips towards your body. Opening up through the forearms, the wrist. All right, and we'll shake that out. And we'll move into a downward facing dog. So hands come about shoulder width distance apart. We tuck the toes. Toes are about a hip width distance apart. And we push our hips up to the sky, strengthening through the knees. They might be just a little bit bent. That's totally fine. Allows for the spine to lengthen even more. Our index fingers are roughly parallel to the sides of the mat. And here we're pushing our chest towards our thighs, so really lengthening out through the spine. And if you're not sure if the length of your stance is correct, we might roll into a high plank. And if you want your downward dog to be just about the same length as a high plank would feel for you. So finding that high plank and then pushing back and feeling into the pose here. Totally fine if your heels are off the ground. Totally fine if your knees are bent. Just opening through the front chest, the shoulders, pushing the ground, active in the fingers. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Neck hangs easy. You can shake out the neck to release the head a little bit deeper. And we'll slowly, keeping our knees bent, walk our hands towards the back of our mat, keeping a good bend in the knees. We'll grab our opposite elbows and come into ragdoll pose, gently hanging, opening through the hamstrings, the backside of the body. Again, your head just hangs heavy here. If you need a little assistance, you could have maybe 2 water bottles that you could kind of hold on to. That might give you a little bit more length. Kind of sway side to side if that feels nice for you. Then we'll walk our hands out forward, coming into a high plank position. And we'll drop our knees and lower down to our belly. Here we'll come into a low cobra, so legs are out long, palms are under the shoulders, and we'll gently lift our chest up here, looking forward ahead of us. Breathing in here, engaging through the glutes to protect the low back. Not too much pressure in the palms, mostly using your upper back here, strengthening to lift you. Stay up for one more breath. Gaze is just a couple feet in front of your mat. And we'll lower back down. Bringing our arms out to our side. We'll keep our palms facing down, and here we'll come into what they call Shalambhasana. So similarly, we're going to lift through the chest, and we're also going to engage through the arms, lifting the legs, bringing our pinky sides of our fingers towards each other. And here we're lifting, lengthening out through the body, the spine, engaging through the midline. Maybe you hug your legs a little bit closer together. Breathing here for 2 more breaths. Maybe lift a little bit higher. And we'll lower back down. Placing our hands under our shoulders. We'll push back into a child's pose, bringing the knees about a little bit, maybe around the width of the yoga mat. Toes come together, And we'll push our hips back as we drape our body over our thighs and down towards the mat. On our next inhalation, we'll push back up and we'll come back into a downward facing dog, lifting our hips skyward. Here we'll lift our right leg up to the sky behind us, engaging through right glute. And we'll exhale, stepping our foot in between our hands. Back knee comes down to the ground. We'll inhale, circle sweep our arms up to the sky. We'll grab the left wrist and lean over towards the right side of the body. So just another side opener here. Back foot can be tucked or out, and we can always add a little bit of extra padding under this back knee if it's feeling sensitive. So finding our balance, stretching over towards the right side of the body. Feeling a slight engagement in inner thighs towards each other. Inhaling back to center. We'll bend through the elbows and bring our chest up to the sky for a gentle back bend. We'll place our hands back on the mat. We'll step our right foot back into downward facing dog. Lifting our left foot up. Exhaling as we step our foot in between our hands, and we sweep our arms up. Left hand is grabbing right wrist as we lean our body over to the left side, engaging our inner thighs towards each other so we can maintain our balance and our core stability here. And we'll come back to center on an inhale. And we'll exhale, bending through the elbows, bringing the chest up to the sky. And we'll release our hands back down to the ground, stepping our foot back into a downward facing dog. So on your next inhale, you'll lift your right leg up to the sky again. And this time, when you exhale, we'll bend the knee and bring the knee towards the nose. Inhaling, extending long. Exhaling as we tuck knee to nose, coming forward. Inhaling long. One more time together. Inhaling long. Exhaling, planting our foot in between our hands. We'll come into a high crescent pose here. So we'll have our feet on train tracks, you'd say. So make sure that they're not totally in one line. That will help your balance. Toes are both facing the front of the mat, and we'll come into our high crescent lunge position. Feel free to adjust your stance, opening through the left hip flexor here. And we'll just hold this pose first. Back knee is always able to be bent, and if that's too much, feel free to keep the back knee down on the ground. Engaging through our glutes, our quads, hamstrings here. Super strong. And on our next inhale, we're going to open up into a warrior two. So the back foot is going to spin open. Parallel back edge of the foot parallel to the back mat. And then we'll bring our arms out wide. Finding our knees stacking above our front foot. Arms are extending out and gaze comes out over the third finger in the front of the hand. Feeling engagement in your muscles here, not fully resting on the joints, really rooting our muscles together using our glutes and our quads to hug in onto the bones to allow us to have a tall spine. Really strong, great. On our inhale, we will come into a reverse warrior, bringing right hand up to the sky. And on our exhale, we'll come forward, placing the right forearm on top of the right thigh, left arm reaching out. Staying here, supporting yourself on your thigh if you'd like. If you'd like a little bit more of a core strengthening component, you might bring your arm towards the inside of your knee so that you don't have that support there. You're having to hold yourself up. Really checking in with what you're needing in this moment. And we want to try to think about keeping our knees stacking above our ankles, so making sure our knee isn't collapsing too far inward. Here for one more breath. And we'll push through our front leg, come into our warrior, or reaching back. And then we'll cartwheel the hands all the way to the ground. We'll step back our foot in high plank. We'll set our knees down, come into a low push-up position. We'll inhale, pushing through the arms, extending, coming into an upward facing dog. And we'll exhale, coming into a downward facing dog. Here for a few breaths. Always taking a break in child's pose if you're needing more rest. If you're wanting a more activating practice, you could be in a high plank holding that for a few more breaths. All right, now we'll lift our left foot up towards the sky. And on our exhale, we tuck our nose to our knee, engaging through the core, rounding through the spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck in. Inhale, extend long. And this time we'll step our foot in between our hands. And we'll find our high crescent lunge position again. Finding a stance that feels good in your body. Shoulders are resting down your back as your arms reach up towards the sky. Hugging inner thighs towards one another. Maybe you deepen the bend in your front leg a little bit more. And turn around so I can see you. And we'll open up to our warrior two. Back foot, back edge of the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Front foot, toes still facing front. And we'll lengthen out our arms here. Thinking about our shoulders being above our hips, arms being out wide, deepen into the bend of the front leg. Checking in with your breath here. On our next inhalation, we'll come into our reverse warrior, reaching arm up to the sky. And we'll move into our side angle, bringing left forearm to the left knee, reaching right arm over top. And again, if you wanted a little bit more of a core strengthening posture here, you might bring your arm to the inside of your right knee or thigh to allow your core to have to hold you up instead of using your body structure. All options are great. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper into the hips. Breathing, breathing, breathing deep. And on our next breath, we'll come back into our reverse warrior, reaching up one more time. And we'll circle our hands down to the ground, coming into a high plank. Option to come to your knees or stay up. We'll move into a low push-up position. We'll inhale, extending through the arms. Chest comes forward. And we'll roll over the toes into a downward facing dog. Staying here in downward facing dog. Maybe if you're wanting more rest, you'll come into a child's pose. We are going to have one more standing sequence, and then we'll be cooling it down for today. So wherever you are, finding yourself back in a downward facing dog, lifting your right foot up to the sky, we'll step it forward, coming into our crescent lunge position again. And here, we're going to shift our body weight forward over the front knee. We're going to bring our arms out down by our side, palms facing towards the ground. We're going to shift our weight onto our right foot, balancing, moving into a warrior three position. Maybe you lower down, trying to make your body parallel with the ground. Maybe you're staying up, finding a comfortable position for your body with a little bit of stretch and challenge for you. We'll slowly come up, come into a tree pose, bringing your left foot to the inside of your shin or inside of your thigh. Bringing hearts to hand center, out to the side or up. And here we engage through the connection of our foot and thigh, lengthening up. If you want to challenge your balance, you might look up more. You might take a moment to close your eyes, knowing that if you fall out, just get right back in. From here, we'll bring both feet onto the ground, sweep our arms up to the sky, exhaling as we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, long spine, gaze forward. Exhale, we'll plant our palms, step back, and come right back into a downward facing dog. Here we'll extend the left leg up to the sky. Exhale as we step it forward, coming into our high crescent lunge on the other side. We'll shift our torso forward, bringing our arms down to the side, activating through the pinkies, bringing pinkies towards each other, activating the triceps. We'll slowly shift our weight onto the left foot. Coming into warrior three, extending through the glute on the right side, trying to keep our hips parallel to the ground. Long spine, deep breath, keep balancing, you got this. While slowly coming up, we'll bring our right sole of the foot to either the shin or above the knee, just not at the knee. And here we'll find our tree pose again. Feeling your roots strongly rooted so that you have strong balance, allowing you to grow even taller, stronger. We'll return both feet down to the ground. We'll take one last really tall sweep towards the sky. Maybe have a slight back bend. And we'll fold back down to the ground on an exhale. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, planting our hands on the ground. Stepping our feet back and lowering onto our bellies. Here we'll push ourselves back into a child's pose. Resting forehead on the ground. Pushing ourselves up to sit, we'll extend our legs in front of us. We'll be coming onto our backs, but if you want just a little bit more of a core engagement opportunity, we can have a quick little boat pose. So we'll lift our feet off the ground. Arms can stay here or they can extend up forward. And we'll slowly lengthen out and come right back up. Inhaling down, exhaling up. Inhaling down and out. And then slowly we will lower all the way to the ground. Here we'll reach our right hand, or both our hands, and interlace our fingers on our right shin, pulling our shin into our body, massaging the hip flexor there, and then we'll bring the shin across our body, coming into a spinal twist. So bringing your right leg over your body, left leg is extended out long, and arms are coming out to a T, looking over opposite shoulder. Maybe you bring your attention to gratitude for your body to be able to move, for you to be able to get where you need in this beautiful vessel. Coming slowly back to center. We'll interlace our hands behind the right shin, extend the foot towards the sky. You can say bend, or maybe it extends. Depending on your flexibility, maybe you reach up the thigh, just opening one more time through that hamstring. Maybe you take some circles in the ankle, one direction and then the other direction. Maybe you climb yourself up one last time, lifting shoulders off the ground. And we'll slowly bring our right leg down to the ground. And we'll bring our right knee towards our chest, interlacing hands on the left shin. Bringing that shin into the body, kind of wiggling back and forth. And then we'll bring our left leg over and across our body, coming into spinal twist on the other side. Arms extending out in a T. Looking over the opposite shoulder. Allowing your muscles to relax, allowing gravity to do the work here. Slowly on your next inhale, you'll engage with the core. Bring the leg back across the body, interlacing hands behind the left hamstring, lengthening the heel up to the sky. We'll take some ankle circles here. And in the other direction. You can bring your hands, climb up your leg a little bit more if that's in your practice. Opening through the back side of the leg. We'll hug both knees into the body before coming into our final Shavasana, which is the final resting posture that we open our bodies, move our energy, and this is the posture that has the most medicine, the most benefit in it. So giving ourselves one last squeeze, taking any other movements we feel in our body we need to take, and then we just take up space. So we bring our legs out long, maybe our heels come to the edges of our mat, maybe wider, and our arms come out wide. And here you just let go, doing our best to just feel so supported. Moving away from the fast do style of life and allowing ourselves to just reap in what is here, what is now. We'll be here just for a couple more minutes, so just allowing yourself to rest and receive the nourishment coming to you now. Honoring all the hard work you've been doing. There's always an option to remain here. And if you're ready to move out, I would suggest that you keep your eyes closed or gaze down and roll into your side, coming into a fetal position, head resting on your upper arm. Pausing here. Maybe noticing how you feel different now versus when you started your practice. So place our hands on the ground, pushing us to a tall seat. And we'll just gently bring our hands to heart center. Taking a collective breath together, honoring ourselves, honoring each other. Thank you for practicing today. I hope you have a great rest of your, whether it's day, evening, sleeping well. And I hope to see you soon. Namaste.